What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Joe, JH Overcomes, America's friendliest cop. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's about 9:30 or so on Friday, and this is week three, okay? Week three of me going through the COVID-19 pandemic and me experiencing having the coronavirus personally. So what I wanted to do this morning, I wanted to check in real quick. I won't be before you long. I wanted to check in real quick just to give you guys an update of exactly how the virus is going with me. Okay, it's been exactly 3 weeks today since I tested positive for COVID-19, and I wanted to give you guys just an overview of exactly what's going on. So, as time went along, things have gotten better. Clearly, if you guys notice, me talking a few weeks ago, and going back, and you see me struggling. I look back at the videos, and I saw myself struggling a little bit. And even now, I'm not at full capacity. But I can say this, that, again, it is beatable. You can overcome it. You can beat it. And I'm not trying to, excuse me, minimize anybody else who is struggling with it right now. And that's one thing I want to get across, that the coronavirus is very, very real, right? And I don't want people to think that because I get on here, I'm minimizing it by showing my progress. The reason for me showing the progress is to inspire somebody else who may be struggling at this point, who may not have the inspiration to get up, who may not have the inspiration to move through this thing, and they can do it. Some people right now can't move through it, and this doesn't apply to them directly right now, because if they're on a ventilator, if they're in the hospital, or if they're really bedridden, this doesn't apply to them. But what this applies to is who this applies to mostly are the people out here who are struggling with the anxiety of possibly getting the coronavirus. It's dealing with people who have gotten the coronavirus and are able to get up and move around, and they are able to do things to improve their situation. So what I want to do with me broadcasting is letting you know that you can overcome this if you follow some steps, right? I want to try to remove some fears. I want to try to remove some anxieties. I won't be able to remove all anxieties or all fears, but I want to minimize it for you as best I possibly can, right? So, with the difference between week one and week two, it was a very, very slow process. It's a very patient process. And again, like I said the other day, because I am on immunosuppressant medication and I have a compromised immune system, it also causes me to heal a little bit slower than others. If you're on certain medications like prednisone or things like that, whatever else that you may be on, it'll cause you to heal slower than the average person. But what you can do is you can take those small incremental steps, right? You could take the small incremental steps and getting towards your goal. You don't have to run out there and jump on the track and start running 2 miles, 3 miles. What I did was this morning, I hopped on the elliptical machine again. I'm blessed to have that in my home, where I have an elliptical machine where somebody gave it to me, and I'm able to take small incremental steps. Now, the other day, I spoke to you guys about starting slow. Now, starting slow you can apply that to anything. You can apply that to business, weight loss, whatever, just a whole bunch of different things, but when it comes down to this specific situation, starting slow is going to be very, very important, because you don't want to overwork the lungs when you still have some fluid in the lungs. Now, I still had fluid in the lungs, but I was able to slowly but surely increase my time on the elliptical machine. Now, this morning, I did 2 extra minutes, right? Now, some people might say, wow, Joe, 2 extra minutes. Okay. You're a real go-getter, huh? No, it's not about that. It's about 2 extra minutes opposed to where you started. I was at 30 seconds 2 weeks ago. Okay. When I couldn't do it at all, I couldn't get up and I couldn't start moving, but when you overcome that fear, okay, of movement, when you overcome that fear of collapsing, when you overcome that fear of getting up and making small incremental steps, that's when you start to see yourself overcoming. Right. So when you start to overcome, that's when you will understand that you can do this, but it's going to take time. OK, a lot of us are on this instant gratification thing, and that's cool. I get it. I'm not knocking that, because we all have instant gratification for some things. Don't even get it twisted. Some people, that's why we have Amazon Prime. Right. But I got it. But what I'm saying to you is that, this is not the time for that, for instant gratification, overcoming COVID-19. People have died, and people are dying. And I don't want to minimize the sickness. I don't want to minimize the illness. I don't want to minimize what people are going through, because, although we're all going through this situation together, we're all going through it in different ways, right? So I don't want to minimize what somebody else is going through right now. And the way for me to do that is to recognize the fact that there are people out there who need a little bit more help than others. There are people out there who, this video won't help your fear. It just is what it is. There's people out there where it just won't help your anxiety. It won't help your depression, but at least it's planted in your head that, what, Joe Hammond said, I could overcome this. Just maybe I can, maybe I can. So how do we do that? The first thing I started to do was I made sure I got out of bed. Okay, get up, get dressed, shower, shave, whatever you got to do. Some of us got to shave a little bit more than others. Okay, I told you I don't have to worry about the haircut. I do got to get these eyebrows done. That's for sure. Maybe I'll do that in a little bit. I don't want to mess those up. I messed those up once. But anyway, small incremental steps. Realize that you have to get out of bed. Realize that you have to start moving around. Realize that in order for you to beat this thing, you're going to have to move. Okay. Now, if you don't have this sickness, if you don't have the illness, you're going to have to move. Okay. A lot of people who have the sickness or have the illness, okay, we've heard the doctors say underlying conditions. Now, those underlying conditions could be prior health issues. Those underlying conditions could be, our weight. It could be, medications that we're on. It could be something that was hereditary through our families. Now, all those underlying conditions, they apply, right? But what about the people who have an opportunity right now to correct some underlying conditions that they have prior to even getting this thing, if they even get it? So that way, when you go into it, you are prepared for it. You are ready for something to come out good. You have that positive outlook, and the thing might not hit you just as hard as everybody else that gets hitting everybody else. So take into consideration the people who had underlying conditions. Take into consideration the people who were out of shape and didn't take care of themselves. It just is what it is. I told you that I'm not in the best shape. Please, I got a long way to go. But what I'm saying to you is that do what you're supposed to do prior to, so that way, if something does happen to you, it's that insurance policy I'm telling you about. It's that insurance policy I talk about, you like that, the alarm system on your house. Some people say, well, why am I going to start taking care of myself like this if I don't have it? Well, why do you set your alarm on the house at night? Why do you set your alarm on your car when you get out the car? It's because you want to prepare for the worst, but expect the best. All right. So start taking those incremental steps. Start understanding that this is not going to be an overcoming situation where you're going to overcome it rapidly. And even if you feel like you can overcome it rapidly, it's very, very intelligent and smart for you to go slow. There's no hurry. Okay. And I'll tell you this, that my lung capacity is improving. My lung capacity is getting better each day. I feel the difference. I feel better. I feel lighter. I still have some symptoms here and there. I'm still not completely out of the woods yet with this thing, but I like to believe, okay, and I'm telling you that I believe that I'm over that hump, that I am absolutely over that hump. And that has affected me mentally to say, you know what, once you get over that hump, keep going, keep pushing, keep going through it as hard as you possibly can, as hard as you possibly can. Okay, don't push yourself to past your limits and things like that, where the lungs will start, you don't have full breath and it'll start to affect your heart. Okay, one thing leads to another. But small incremental steps in life, people, that's what's going to make you the successful person that you need to be in any situation. All right, I'm Joe Hammond, America's friendliest cop, JH Overcomes. And listen, reach out to me if you need to. I got some information that can help you. And if I have some information for you that you could pass on to somebody else, like and share this video to people who are going through it and who aren't going through it. Okay, let's try to relieve some of the anxiety that we're going through together. All right. And I promise you this too, you can overcome. All right. Peace. I'll see you when I see you.